Before Run DMC sold millions of Adidas sneakers, before LL Cool J shouted "Don't call it a comeback," 15 underground tracks from the 1980s literally rewired how hip-hop worked. These were not hits, these were seismic shifts, underground on purpose. Invisible to radio, but absolutely everything that came after, every Nas verse, every Wu-Tang beat, every Jay-Z bar traces directly back to these 15 moments. We had to go deep into the vaults for this one. Let's start at number 1. Number 1, Grandmaster Flash and ML. The Message, released July 1982 on Sugar Hill Records.
Broken glass everywhere, people pissing on the stage, you know they just don't care.
Now this track charted at number 4 on the Hot 100. Everybody remembers that. But what changed everything? The moment Mel opened his mouth and started talking about poverty, crime, homelessness, real suffering. Hip-hop had always been about the party, the break, the DJ, but The Message proved rappers could address actual social issues and it could still bang. The production layered drums with synthesizers in a way nobody had attempted. Arthur Baker and the Robinson label heads created a blueprint that everyone copied, moved. This track gave permission for rappers to say something. And once that permission existed, conscious hip-hop became inevitable. Everything from Rakim's intelligence to KRS-One's philosophy to Nas's Illmatic, this is where it started. Amaze 2, Aksh Free Ka Bombay to Aksh, and Soul Sonic Force, Planet Rock, June 1982. This track sampled Kraftwerk, a German electronic band. Think about that for a moment. Hip-hop producers thought they had to sample funk, soul, James Brown. That was the rule. Then Afrika Bambaataa and Arthur Baker said no, we are sampling a German synthesizer band. We are going futuristic. Energized, Planet Rock became the template. The drum machines, the electronic keyboards, the way production could be cold and mechanical but still make you move. This track created electro. An entire subgenre emerged from this single decision. Dance music, house music, everything electronic and hip-hop. It all traces back to sampling Kraftwerk on a Bronx production. Bambaataa, founder of the Zulu Nation, understood something profound. Hip-hop could absorb any music and make it part of the culture. Number 3, Eric B. and R.A.H. I Know You Got Soul, July 1987.
And let it work. When this is playing, you can't get stuck with the steps, so can say, and I'ma still come up.
This track did not chart, radio did not play it, but every MC who heard it understood immediately the game had changed. Rakim's internal rhyme scheme was so complex, so technically advanced, that rappers literally had to go back to school. Most MCs rhymed end-words. Rakim rhymed syllables within his lines. Multiple syllables, complex patterns. He was doing mathematics with language. Listen to one verse, and you hear layers. Internal rhymes, multisyllabic structures, assonance. This was not party rap, this was linguistic revolution. Jay-Z learned from this, Nas learned from this, Eminem built his entire style on Rakim's internal complexity. One track, 1987, and suddenly the technical bar for being an MC became 10 times higher. Number 4, KRS-One and Boogie Down Productions, The Bridge Is Over, August 1987.
Hey, yo, Greg, I'm getting sick and tired of this. You getting sick and tired of this, my brother?
This track started a war, a real competitive war that defined East Coast hip-hop for the next decade. 2 years earlier, producer Marley Marl released The Bridge, claiming Queens was hip-hop's center. KRS-One recorded a response. Just a response. Nothing else. Complete disagreement. Complete dedication to proving the Bronx was where it all started. And this response record became more influential than the original. This track established the template for competitive hip-hop. Everything from Nas versus Jay-Z to Drake versus Kendrick, the entire battle rap structure traces back to this moment. DJ Scott LaRock's production was sparse, strategic, every element placed deliberately. And KRS-One did not just defend the Bronx, he elevated hip-hop intellectually, started talking about hip-hop philosophy, made conscious rap necessary. Enthusiastic Asa Nahig, talkin' all that jazz, June 1986.
Here's how it started. Heard you on the radio, talking about rap, saying all that about
This
how
Brooklyn crew made a decision that seemed crazy. They sampled jazz, live jazz horns, saxophones, trumpets. Jazz had never been a hip-hop sample source. It was funk or nothing. But Prince Paul, Daddy-O, and the crew understood something critical. Hip-hop did not have to stay within funk parameters. You could absorb jazz. You could absorb any music and make it hip-hop. Talkin' All That Jazz directly inspired what became the Native Tongues Collective. De La Soul, A Tribe Called Quest. This one track opened a sonic door. Suddenly you could be intellectual and a rapper, musically sophisticated and street, jazz-influenced and heavy. Prince Paul's production became the blueprint for golden age hip-hop. All that musical complexity you hear in 1990s hip-hop, it started here. 1986, a Brooklyn crew that believed hip-hop could be a real instrument. Reverent number 6, Grandmaster Flash on the Wheels of Steel, August 1981.
Flash is back, Flash is back, Flash is fast, Flash is cool.
Flash invented the scratch technique. He developed turntable scratching. But this track said something revolutionary. It said the DJ as the musician. The turntable is the instrument. Before this, DJs were accompaniment, background. This track made the DJ the star. Flash cutting between breaks, layering multiple records, creating a composition using turntable technique as the primary compositional element. That had never been recorded before. Every producer who came after understood something new was possible. Razzie heard this. DJ Premier heard this. Scratch perverts heard this. The entire turntablism movement is built on the foundation Flash established in 1981. This was not a song. This was a technical masterclass that redefined what an instrument could be. Number 7, Nucleus Jam on It, March 1984. Digital production, drum machines, synthesizers. Before this track, hip-hop producers asked, how do we make records that sound like funk? How do we get that analog warmth? Nucleus answered, we go digital. Complete embrace of electronic production. This track influenced how producers thought about rhythm. You did not need a funk loop. You did not need James Brown. You could build a rhythm using drum machines and digital elements, and it would slap. Nucleus proved it. The dance floors confirmed it. This single decision to go fully digital became the production standard for the 1990s. Every golden age hip-hop producer heard this and understood digital was not the future. Digital was now. Timeless production came from understanding you could use technology without losing soul. Number 8, Do a G Fresh, The Show with Slick Rick, April 1985. Doug E. Fresh proved something that seemed impossible. Your mouth can create complex rhythms. Beatboxing became music. Not a novelty act, not a party trick. Legitimate percussion. He layered his beatboxing over production in ways nobody had heard. Hip-hop producers suddenly realized, you do not need drum machines. You do not need samples. Human beatboxing could be a primary compositional element. Razzle learned from this. Killa Kayla learned from this. The entire beatboxing culture emerged from this moment. This track changed how we think about instruments. If your mouth could generate complex rhythms, then what even is an instrument? Doug E. Fresh asked that question, and hip-hop answered, anything can be music if you have the skill. Number 9, The Treacherous 3, The New Rap Language, November 1980. Before this track, hip-hop was mostly one MC, one voice on a beat. This track asked, what if multiple rappers worked together on the same production? What if they had distinct voices and flows but coordinated energy? Grandmaster Caz, Special K, and Mel Mel created a template, the crew rap format. Multiple MCs, different perspectives, coordinated structure, this became everything. Run DMC, Beastie Boys, Outkast, De La Soul, Wu-Tang Clan. Every major crew rap movement traces back to this moment. They proved that multiple strong personalities could create something cohesive, that competition could become collaboration, that hip-hop could be a group culture, not just solo artists. Intense. Slick Rick, Children's Story, February 1988.
Once upon a time, not long ago, when people wore pajamas and lived.
This track changed what rap could be, narratively. Slick Rick did not write verses. He wrote short film scripts in audio form, complete story arc, character development, conflict, resolution, moved. A young kid steals a car, gets arrested, goes to jail. The entire narrative arc in under 5 minutes. And Slick Rick's British accent, his storytelling precision, his character voice, it made you listen, instead of just hear. This was not a song, this was cinema translated to audio. Nas heard this and made Illmatic a concept album. MF Doom heard this and made character-based rapping his entire aesthetic. Every narrative rapper after 1988 is building on Slick Rick's foundation. He proved that hip-hop could tell stories, real stories with stakes and consequences. Number 11, LL Cool J, Don't Rush Me, I'm Coming, October 1985. Rick Rubin produced this, and Rick Rubin's minimalist philosophy, stripped-down drums, heavy bass, no extra elements, became the production standard for the entire 1990s. Before this, producers asked, how do I layer sounds? How do I add complexity? Rick Rubin asked, what if I remove everything unnecessary? What if I make space matter? Heavy bass, simple drums, clarity. LL's aggressive delivery matched the sparse production perfectly. This production philosophy influenced Wu-Tang, influenced Nas, influenced the entire minimalist movement in hip-hop. You hear it in Illmatic, you hear it in Enter the Wu-Tang. Rick Rubin said, sometimes the most powerful thing is what you do not put on the record. Amaze 12, Ram Z, Beat Bop, March 1983.
Now jam, a skip a hop, hip with a trip with a rhythm hop, your flip.
Jean-Michel Basquiat produced this, a fine artist, a painter whose work now sells for hundreds of millions of dollars. And he said, I am making hip-hop music. I am collaborating with a street artist named Ram Z on an experimental track. This was revolutionary. Hip-hop had always been separate from fine art, separate from the gallery world. Ram Z and Basquiat said no. Hip-hop I as art. Hip-hop I as culture worthy of fine art collaboration. This track influenced everything that came after. Tyler, the Creator, making music and visual art simultaneously. Kanye treating albums as art installations. It all starts here. Ramelzi and Basquiat proving that hip-hop could merge with avant-garde aesthetics. Number 13, the Double Dutch Girls. Double Dutch, September 1981.
Start again. Hey, Evo.
This track did something extraordinary. It took playground sounds, children's game sounds, double Dutch rope jumping, and it made it music. The percussion was the rope. The rhythm was the jumping. And these female MCs were operating in a space nobody had claimed yet. Early female rappers using playground culture as sonic material. This track influenced how producers thought about samples. You could sample anything, not just funk records. You could sample your environment, your culture, your childhood, and it becomes music. This opened doors for experimentation that lasted through the entire 1990s. Number 14, The Furious Five, It's Nasty Genius of Love, May 1981. Grandmaster Flash, Mel Mel, Kid Creole, Cowboy, Mr. Ness, 5 distinct personalities, 1 production, 5 different flows working in coordination. Intense. This track established crew dynamics, not just multiple MCs, but MCs with different roles, different styles, different personalities contributing to one unified vision. This became the template. Run DMC had this, Wu-Tang had this, Outkast had this. The Furious Five understood that hip-hop could be an ensemble, that difference could create strength, that 5 strong voices could be more powerful than 1 dominant voice. Number 15, Grandmaster Caz, Captain Rap, November 1982.
Life's purple rain turns to human tears, the crying of doves.
Before Slick Rick proved narrative hip-hop was possible, Grandmaster Caz was already showing complex storytelling in rap. Character voices, different perspectives, lyrical complexity. This track proved that even from the underground, with limited distribution, minimal radio play, a single MC could create something that changed how rappers thought about lyricism. Caz influenced the entire approach to complex narratives. He was storytelling before it was called storytelling. Everything from Slick Rick to Nas to Outkast storytelling comes from the foundation Grandmaster Caz established. Hip-hop realized rappers could be writers, not just verbal performers. Writers creating literature through beats. 15 underground tracks, 1980 to 1988. None of them were supposed to matter. Most got 0 radio play, most charted nowhere. But every single thing that made 90s hip-hop legendary, every Nas verse, every Wu-Tang production, every Jay-Z bar, every Dr. Dre beat, all of it traces back directly to these 15 moments. These were not hits in their time, they were foundations. In their moment, they were invisible to mainstream culture. But within hip-hop culture, within the underground, these tracks were religion, blueprint, sacred text, move. This is how culture works. Sometimes the most important things are underground for years, decades even, and only later do you realize this moment changed everything. These 15 tracks were those moments. If you study hip-hop history, you need to know these 15 tracks. Drop a comment, let us know which one changed your perspective on how hip-hop developed, and if you have not subscribed to Hip Hop Legends Archives, now is the time. We are deep diving into the underground, the forgotten, the invisible moments that changed everything. Subscribe.